Hello everyone, this is my room here, and right up there is my A+ certification. Sweet. And then there's my two posters, one beside the other. Today I'm going to actually talk to you a little bit about Windows 8, and I'm sponsored by Magnezone World as well to do this. Also, congrats to me that I now have another certificate to add up there to my A+, and it is my IT for Sales. Let's get started. Alright, so let's do a little rundown of what we got here. This is my Compact Procero SR50-410F. It's about 4 years old, and I call it Speed Demon now because it now has a Intel solid-state drive running an Intel Core 2 Duo, I believe it's Pennydale 2.93 GHz. It used to run Vista when I first bought it many years ago, but now it is Windows 8. Since then I've done many upgrades, including upgrading to Windows 7, and now it's upgraded to Windows 8. So let's go ahead and power our friend here on. Of course, as it loads, I'll let you know it's 4 gigs of RAM. You know, you got the solid-state drive of 120, plus another terabyte in there as well, disk drive. And it also has a Blu-ray disc player. So let's just give it a sec here to load. Now, one thing you may want to know about Windows 8 is that you have two ways of logging on. So you can always change the picture to whatever you want, but that's just one of the defaults. Another cool thing, before I tell you the rest, is that there are different types of passwords you can do. You can do PIN, you can do this through just standard, password, or you can actually use the picture you saw earlier in different motions of circles or squares. You're able to log in that way as well. Now, right now, I'm going to log in as just Magnezone World through our Microsoft account, but you can use your own. For example, my other email at hotmail.com or live.ca, live.com, whatever you got, you can do it through that. And what's cool is online it will keep track of how your preferences are on Windows 8, and so that no matter what other Windows 8 machine you access, it will use those same preferences that you're used to. So it's as if you never left. Or you can do a localized account, which means that only this desktop will have the settings you choose, and that's it. So let's go ahead and log in. Alright, so the infamous, as some people may say, the Metro UI, some people are opposed and are in favor in such a way. To me, this is not something new. Windows has wanted to push, they wanted to make their system work well, whether it's Xbox, whether it's their Windows 7 phone, and now this, they've always wanted to keep a consistency. So this pretty much let them innovate and make some changes. Now, don't be alarmed. Some consumers actually believe that there is no desktop. That's a complete lie, and whoever told you that is not telling the truth, because you can actually just click on desktop right here, and there you go. And there's your desktop background. Same as Windows 7. Anything you have from Windows 7 is compatible. Alright, so looking at the command side of things, you can always, at any time, whether it's on the desktop Or if you want to get back to the Metro UI, which you can do by just pressing the Windows key. And then you can, what's interesting as well is you can actually go into the right hand corner here, the very, very right corner here with your mouse, with your pointer, and it brings out another command. It brings you a whole other set of commands here. It even tells you the time, conveniently, and if you're connected to a network or not. You can either do a share, which means you're able to share whatever the heck you're looking at, whether it's using the news application or on the web. It'll actually allow you to share that with your friends on Twitter or Facebook, on your social networking. Or you can go to the Start, back here to the Start menu, take a look at devices, for example, if you have projectors, different monitors, or more than one monitor. Settings, of course, if you just want to make settings or if you want to go shut down the computer. You actually have to come here to the settings, and then you go to power off your computer, or you can make other PC settings, your keyboard, and everything else, including notifications, if you have updates, so on and so forth. What's also interesting about this is you can search for not just a file in particular, but your settings and your apps. Some people do complain saying, where the heck is the control panel? Or if I'm trying to find something in particular, I don't know where it is because, you know, there's no start menu, or sorry, there's no start button, and there's only a start menu. Well, it's very easy. You simply just have to come here to the search and just type in whatever you're looking for. So control panel, and there's control panel. If I wanted to be a little more advanced and look for disk management, right, then I would just type in that command that I want to use to go find it, which, you know, disk mgmt, and there it is. And I can go take a look at my disk management. So, I mean, there isn't really much to worry about. And the NTFS, everything, the file system's still the same and everything as well. So in that regard, you don't have to worry about that. If you ever want to come back here, for example, back to the desktop, no matter what you're doing, whether you're on the Metro UI or not, so what's also cool as well, I'll quickly show you while I'm at it, is you can actually put your mouse anywhere in the top left corner. It'll show you what other applications you're running. Or you can just, while you're holding it up in the left corner, you just move it a little bit further down. You can see everything that you're running in the background. And you can switch to it. But anyway, if you wanted to go back to the Metro UI, no matter where you are, right, you would just press your Windows key to go back. Or you can hold down Windows key and D to make your desktop come back. Very similar to Windows 7. Let's not forget that you can go into the top left corner here, where I showed you could see what's in the background. You can also actually just click on it, drag it, and you can actually snap it in place so that, you know, you could be doing one thing while doing another, video, music versus spreadsheet or whatever. You know, it's good for both work and play, or, you know, vice versa, depending on preference. So, or you can just push it away to get rid of it. So, it's pretty cool, eh? Another cool thing about Windows 8 as well is no matter what app you are in, you can always access your extra commands on the side here, or, as well, you can actually grab what you're doing. So you'll notice that my pointer changed to a hand. You can grab that application, and you can also turn it off by just pushing it down, and it's gone. Just like that. Do not forget that while you're in the top left corner here, and you decide to look through your programs, you can actually close them, or snap to the left and right directly by just pretty much right-clicking on what you want to get rid of or close, and you can just let it go away in the background. So if you don't want background stuff. Of course, you can also go to your task manager at any time by just right-clicking on the bar, or doing your Control-Alt-Delete. And it's really cool because it even tells you everything that's running, even how much RAM, you know, CPU it's using in disk space, or disk usage. So it's very cool. Lastly, we have the store. We have maps. You have your SkyDrive, which is very well known as well to be very useful in this system as well. So you can share your pictures or anything you have with everything, with all your other systems or all your other devices as well. Alright, so aside from commands, let's quickly, since I'm still doing a quick introduction for you, let's just go straight to what apps are included with Windows 8. So, you know, typical laptop, typical desktop that you buy with Windows 8 will obviously have some junkware on it, and may not have some junkware on it. But the things that aren't really junkware, that you can take advantage of if you want to use them, is of course it has the Internet Explorer 10, which is great because you got your HTML5 and your full flash capability there. Of course, the new features include you don't have to go to each and single page when you're searching on Google. You can actually just put your mouse to the right side and let it and make it do like a little swift motion where it just goes through the pages as if it was a book. So those are really cool stuff too to put into consideration. Of course, you have your SkyDrive, which is always included, especially good to take advantage of, since just for having a Hotmail account or just a a Microsoft account, you get 5 gigs of free space. So you can't go wrong with that. The store as well is another thing to keep in mind. Is of course you can get all the free stuff from here, including a particular Skype app or particular application that you like. So of course there's always a lot of applications to look through here. Obviously it may not be as abundant as the, for example, may not be full of bells and whistles as the Apple App Store, but it's definitely in development, and you can actually get involved too very easily if you want to make your own app, for example. Of course you have the People app, which keeps track of your, all of your people that you know, for example, through Facebook, through most of your media, or pretty much all your media, social media, as well as, of course, almost like having Outlook in a sense, where all your contacts are in one place. Messaging is very similar, except, of course, messaging side of it, of course. Weather, photos, of course. If you have any pictures on the system, it'll actually do a little live view here, as you're seeing as these guys are changing. Just so you know, as a tip, if you want them to stop doing that, for example, you can actually right-click on that app that's doing a live view, or a live tile, and you can actually choose to shut that off. So as soon as you click on it, it'll stop doing that. It'll just stay the way it is, as you can see. Right? You can also do the same thing to uninstall and to make it smaller as well. You click on that, and it makes it smaller. Now it's smaller. But since I like to see my pictures of, my travel stuff, then there you go. You can make it bigger again. And so on and so forth. And of course, by just clicking on it and grabbing it, you can move it around wherever the heck you want and make groups out of it. There's your mail. Unfortunately, one thing I don't like is that the mail, you click on mail and it just lets you look at the headline of it or the subject. It doesn't really let you look into detail, but it just gives you an idea of what emails you have, and it can take you to that as well. Of course, you can download your own apps, like, of course, obviously I'm the kind of guy who would like to read his Rage comics. And then you have here your games, your photo, your video, your music player. So there is no, well, they don't call it Windows Media Player, but it's, that is pretty much the media player there if you want to listen to music. You can always download the essentials, the Windows Live essentials, like your Windows Live Messenger, whenever you want. Of course, Ubuntu One's available as well if you prefer using that. I just have a bunch of different cloud services, so that's why I have that. Now, unfortunately, one thing they have taken out of Windows 8 Pro, which you have to pay for separately, which is only $10, so it's not that bad, but, I wish they didn't take it out, is the Windows Media Center. The Media Center basically lets you watch your DVDs, as well as use your TV tuner with what it has in terms of drivers. Of course, I have my own home server, so it's going to be here as well. So there's a whole bunch of different things that you're going to love about Windows 8, and maybe a few things you're not going to like about Windows 8. But I thought I'd just quickly go through the basics with you. Again, thanks to, props to Magnezone World for, for my counsel, for allowing me to get a little more involved with making tutorials for you guys. And if you have any further questions or concerns, you can send an email to us at magnezoneworld@live.ca if you have any other questions. Our PDF version of our tutorial will be out shortly, so keep your, stay tuned for that. Thanks for watching. This is Anthony Jordan Navarro, Magnezone 150, leader of Magnezone World, saying adios.